want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Merry Christmas to all of you out there in internet land. And after another hard-ass year of working through the COVID pandemic, I hope you folks still have plenty of reasons to make merry this holiday season. While I still have plenty of shitty Home Alone sequels to watch for this godforsaken show. That's right, folks. If you thought 20th Century Fox's gross exploitation of John Hughes' beloved Christmas comedy was bad already, just wait until they get bought up by those Scrooges at Disney, the kings of unnecessary and half-assed sequels to and reboots of their beloved properties. And when you need cheap content to beef up your booming streaming service, there's no movie like 2021's Home Sweet Home Alone. The expectations weren't particularly high in 2019 when Disney announced that this franchise would finally revive after the failure of 2012's Home Alone 5. Malcolm McDowell needed to pay off his car, with a reboot on the newly launched Disney Plus service, whose original shows for Marvel and Star Wars have grown just as big as the movies, but whose slate of original movies hasn't been as successful outside of its Pixar collaborations and music documentaries. However, the sixth Home Alone had Macaulay Culkin's sweater filled this time by Archie Yates, fresh off this kid's breakout performance as a dorky Hitler youth in Taika Waititi's acclaimed satire JoJo Rabbit. And there were even rumors that the Culkster would return for a cameo as an adult Kevin McAllister, which were refuted by Macaulay Culkin himself right after the movie's trailer was roundly hated by people on the internet, followed by the movie being roundly hated by critics and audiences alike, as perhaps the low point of the Home Alone brand. But seeing as I've gone too deep into these shitty Home Alone sequels to stop now, let us see if the Disney name will lend the Home Alone franchise the same greatness that it also gave to Meet the Deedles, Mr. Magoo, and Rocket Man. And yeah, I know I promised to do Home Alone 5 last year, but fuck that noise. I tried watching it for this show, it was boring as fuck, and I couldn't make an episode out of it. Also, Ed Asner's in that movie, and we must pay respect to the dead. Rest in peace, Ed. I'm sorry you were in two terrible John Hughes Christmas sequels, and even more sorry that I had to watch them.
Merry Christmas.
I came here to die.
Yay!
Thanks for watching Awfully Good Movies. If you enjoy our shows, please subscribe to our channel right now, like this video, and click on the bell so you can be notified each time a new video goes up. Now, back to the show. Now it's time to help the Sticky Bandits once again become the Wet Bandits by helping them rob the liquor drawer of the Awfully Good Drinking Game. Take a shot or drink every time we get another establishing shot of the homes in this Home Alone movie, as we open in an open house for the Chicago estate of Jeff and Pam McKenzie, played by Ellie Kemper of The Office and Kimmy Schmidt, and Rob Delaney of pretty much everything. These two find a promising lead on their house from the one black man in America who dresses like folk-era Bob Dylan, but nearly ruined the deal for their realtor, Gavin, played by the far too good for this Kenan Thompson.
Pam is a teacher at Winnetka Elementary.
The schools here are amazing.
They are totally lit.
Especially since they put in new metal detectors.
Jeff, what are you doing?
What are you doing, Kenan Thompson? Between acting in this movie and Clifford the Big Red Dog, I'm starting to think you're keeping on your old pal Kel as your talent agent.
I did it! I did it! Why?
And who should need to use this open house's bathroom but a British businesswoman named Carol Mercer, played by Irish comedian Aisling Bea, and her 10-year-old son, Max Mercer, played by Archie Yates. Before I go any further, I must make clear that Archie Yates was incredible in JoJo Rabbit, and he's got plenty of great movies to come in his future. It's not his fault that he's gone from being directed by Taika Waititi to the guy who made Dirty Grandpa, or that his character is written as a narcissistic and whiny brat right from his first line of dialogue.
Mom, I really have to pee.
I gotta go to the bathroom, Daddy. Not now, damn it.
I'm telling you, kid, you gotta stop staying up all night partying with Fuller. That boy will wreck your bladder. After he's done peeing, Max gets to dunking on Rob Delaney for no particular reason.
Cool dolls.
They belonged to my mother.
Sure they did.
They're very delicate, so...
Oh, little boy doesn't want to share his dolly.
What is this, the young Ricky Gervais Chronicles? Can this boy's mom come in here and rein in his sass mouth?
I can't wait to go home and share one toilet with 9 blooming cousins.
Maxwell Johann Mercer.
Carol Ellen Mercer.
Charles Foster Kane!
How is it that this kid gets more evil when he's not playing a Nazi?
How's about we just spend Christmas in Tokyo without you?
Great idea. Where do I sign up?
No McDonald's for you on the way home.
What? Mum?
But at least the Mercer family is in better shape than Jeff and Pam's is, as Dad can't find a tech job and Mom can't afford this house on her salary alone, so the two are forced to sell their house off without letting their kids know during Christmas.
Who are you?
He is,
Your personal trainer. We're gonna get rid of that jelly belly, Dad, am I right?
Get rid of the jelly belly. Get rid of the jelly belly.
Even worse, Jeff McKenzie's far wealthier brother Hunter, played by Jonah Ryan from Veep, is dropping by to stay with the family over the holidays, alongside his baby boy and ditzy wife, May, played by the voice of Giggle McDimples in Toy Story 4.
Where do you have us set up?
Oh, in the den on the pullout.
In the den on the pull-out. Yeah, okay.
No es un juguete.
We're teaching in Spanish.
Now I imagine you can see the similarities between this plot and the plot to another John Hughes comedy, The Great Outdoors.
In the whole week you'll be here. Okay.
Y'all thought she was coming tomorrow, but she's come
I'm here
in
now.
the dead of night.
And Jeff's brother and sister-in-law are a lot like the Griswold's yuppie neighbors from Christmas Vacation. Why is this stealing from John Hughes movies which aren't the one it's supposed to be a sequel to? Is their daughter gonna announce she's dating a friend at school named Ducky? Speaking of families, we meet the family of this Max Mercer lad, which is preparing for a vacation in Tokyo, and are just as insufferable and loud as this kid is.
Who keeps swapping the home bot to German? 9! 9!
9, 9, 9, 9.
Mom.
2.
Mom.
You think you could keep it down a little in there, huh?
I'm sick of this bullshit.
Uh-oh, Disney's hiding a security camera inside that elf on the shelf. Better tone down the swear words. Not only doesn't this come close to how well the boys' family was set up in those first 2 movies, but Max's family is barely developed beyond him and his mother. Why does Max's sister look like Egon Spengler's granddaughter? Why is Max's dad, played by Andrew Daly, barely seen doing anything here, while his Uncle Blake, played by Pete Holmes, is the guy who's handling all these kids as they get ready to take off for Tokyo?
Carol Mercer home.
No, Carol took the early flight. She booked the cars. Bethany, is this a good time for a selfie in front of an Uber?
Hashtag ill-judged.
Oh my god, let's drive by John Hughes' grave and film a TikTok of us taking a shit all over it. You think these shitty jokes are scary, folks? Wait until you see the guy who's driving this family's Uber.
Ain't much better in here, kid.
But wouldn't you know it, little Max fell asleep hiding out from his noisy family inside of his mom's BMW car. So he misses the Uber to the airport, and you all know the drill from here.
Dad? Uncle Blake? It's a Christmas miracle.
Are you saying that my parents have left me domicile unattended?
Cue the franchise's trademark montage of our lead kid messing around his empty house, with Tom Petty's song from the Home Alone 2 soundtrack getting reused here, alongside John Williams' score cues from the first movie.
Woof.
And this montage features not just blatant Disney product placement, but also the 1 millionth time that a bad kids movie has made an unfunny reference to Scarface. First you'll get that thick candy shell, then you'll take the chocolate, then you'll get the green M&Ms. Meanwhile, Jeff discovers that one of the dolls in his moving boxes is a rare model which garners $200,000 on eBay. And when he finds that the upside down doll is missing, he immediately suspects that little British boy took the doll for himself. But who needs to simply knock on the door and simply ask the kid when you can try and fail to break into his empty house, and then reveal your evil plan to your wife while the two of you are in the middle of a concert for your Christmas bell choir?
The doll is in that house. I saw it in his jacket.
Why didn't you tell me any of this? It's still against the law, Jeff.
Like a light bulb.
This is so terrible.
You stink.
You suck!
Don't blame her. That's you. Sorry. Shame on you.
Dude, you've gone from Community to Home Alone 6. Don't you dare speak to us of shame. So Jeff and Pam contemplate breaking into the house as Jeff's brother continues to show him up with his wealth. Better watch that baby there. Looks like we got a sticky bandit in training.
I'm gonna give you to the count of 10.
To get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property.
Oh, this is garbage.
Total fucking garbage.
I don't know why they're always trying to remake the classics.
Wow, it is rare when a shitty sequel to a great movie dares you to go watch the original movies instead, on a streaming service that offers the original movies. Anyway, Jeff and Pam decide to break into the Mercer house to look for the ugly doll, thinking that the whole family is off in Japan. But little do they know that little Max is hiding inside to have another one of his many wacky fantasies of the film.
Find that ugly little boy. Some crazy old lady will pay us $200,000 for him.
Ew, why is this kid taking part in erotic driving Miss Daisy cosplay? Oh, Jesus, I'm getting way too turned on by this. Please cut back to what Jeff and Pam are doing.
Homebot, call the police.
You're someone home. And she's German.
Yes. Who among us hasn't mistaken the voice of an Alexa system for that of an elderly German woman? Thank goodness that this homebot wasn't set on the Talkboy setting.
Hi, kids, we're home early. Ready, car? You got it.
So to legitimize this movie as a Home Alone sequel and not just a glorified Asylum ripoff, we bring back the one actor from the original who isn't dead and is willing to work for scale. Devin Rattray as the grown-up Buzz McAllister.
Evening.
With Buzz now a beat cop tasked with checking the Mercer house after the alarm is set off.
I'm sure you never forget your anniversary, do you?
No ring on this finger, ma'am. No one's been able to tame this wild stallion.
And to Rattray's credit, this is exactly how I'd envisioned Buzz McAllister growing up. A street cop who is so dumb that he doesn't think hearing a little kid screaming for help is worth checking in on the house.
You're letting them get away.
Are you saying your parents left you home alone? Alone?
Forever.
Plus, the overweight Buzz wolfs down food worse than he did with that cheese pizza.
Get a plate.
And he still holds his childhood grudge against his young brother, as Buzz reports the break-in as a false alarm from the security system that's owned by a certain Kevin McAllister.
We forgot my little brother Kevin twice. He called in the 289 to mess with me. The place had a McAllister home alarm system.
Again, could just be watching those movies instead, Disney Plus. Don't tempt me. All this lame cameo does is make me wish we were watching a movie about the adventures of grown-up Kevin instead. And no, the Saw series doesn't count, with Kevin now a home security kingpin by day, a heartless murderer by night, looking to hunt down the wet bandits who traumatized him into a life of bloodshed, and kill the evils of the past, once and for all. Home Alone Kills, a David Gordon Green film. Coming soon to Disney Hulu. But seriously, as Culkin's Google commercial and his internet show cameos have proven, there's still some appeal in seeing a Home Alone movie where a 40-year-old Kevin has to help defend his son from wet bandits. But instead, Disney has settled for the cheaper option, with poor Archie Yates playing an unapologetically shitty brat who straight up takes a toy for himself off a pile of toys in church, which are meant for sick and poor kids.
Sounds like you deserve it as much as anybody. Merry Christmas. I need to come to church more often.
This mean-spirited attitude goes against the Christmas spirit that Home Alone exemplifies, and doesn't make for endearing, likable characters. As hard as Delaney and Kemper do try in this movie to play a more sympathetic type of villain.
They need to sign the contract before the new year or something. No pressure. Well, maybe a little pressure. You know, it's a lot of pressure. Actually.
Well, this movie is leaving me depressed, so does that count at all? And while Home Alone left you feeling awful for Catherine O'Hara as she was trying to reach her son, the emotional struggle of Max's barely developed family means nothing to me.
What? You just assumed that Max was on the other flight.
So they only found out this kid is missing several hours after the 12-hour flight to Tokyo?
Carol, I swear to you, that boy was not in the house when we left.
And why is Max's dad doing this scene from behind a bathroom door in only his second scene of the movie? Did Andy Daly have a positive COVID test on set and the crew just kept him quarantined in a bathroom so they could finish filming for the day? Why is this father character even here? Where is Uncle Frank when you need him?
Get out of here, you nosy little pervert, or I'm gonna slap you silly!
Also, today's technologies and smartphones would make the events of the original movies impossible to happen. So please explain why Max isn't just pulling out a smartphone and giving his mom a call already.
Cool, Mom.
Sorry, voice calling is not available on this HomeBot device.
Oh sure, that's how virtual assistant technology works. It's got parental controls that keep your children from accessing necessary contact with family members or 911. You didn't even get this kid a flip phone for emergencies? Just have this kid go to a neighbor's house and ask for a phone and make this movie end sooner. I no longer wish to see Rob Delaney and Ellie Kemper embarrass themselves by ripping farts in each other's faces.
I'm sorry.
That right there is the look of an actress who prematurely said yes to an offer from Disney before finding out it wasn't for a Marvel show. So Jeff and Pam skip their daughter's Christmas recital to once again try breaking into the Mercer house, only to end up breaking into the wrong house and nearly freeze to death inside their frozen pool.
Why are men and lady drowning?
I don't think this counts as slapstick, more like just a regular painful slap to the face. And this is when the fed up Jeff and Pam declare war against the British boy by throwing a Santa costume into the mix.
Harry stinking Potter comes into our house and steals the only thing that can fix our problems.
What if I dress as Santa?
Santa's gonna be leaving with that $200,000 ugly little boy in his sack. And that's how we win.
Rob Delaney stars in Uncut Gems 2, The Legend of Sandler's Gold.
Holy shit, I'm gonna come.
Thus, we are led to the coup de grace of any Home Alone movie, the traps, which are set up by Max to take on the two supposed bad guys, all of which are based off an item prominently seen beforehand in the movie. And these trap scenes work because they're usually at the expense of stupid adult criminals that deserve whatever punishment they get. Not two financially desperate parents who need this doll to help their family's dwindling finances.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Joe Pesci deserves to be lit on fire. Ellie Kemper does not. This isn't funny. It's like a toned-down American remake of the 1989 French thriller that some say inspired Home Alone, Deadly Games. Also about a wealthy kid who uses weapons against an invading bad guy in a Santa suit. And certainly a better film than Home Alone's 3 through 6 combined. And Delaney's character is a special kind of stupid. This man eats a plate of cookies the kid laced with hot sauce, in spite of the fact that children never leave their cookies for Santa outside in the wet snow like it was Homer Simpson's floor pie, and also gets fooled by a VR headset that Max puts on his head into thinking he's at the Grand Canyon.
Where have you taken me?
Yes, makes perfect sense that a 10-year-old boy would drag your unconscious body to the Grand fucking Canyon. This guy can't feel the heavy VR headset on his face or that he's not in a desert. Look, just end the damn joke already. The kid and the adults come to an impasse and discover that this was all a big misunderstanding. Because Max actually stole not a doll, but rather a can of orange soda from their open house. I presume Keenan was keeping that on hand for a certain friend of his?
I do. Ooh. I'm 10 years old. Why on earth would I want a doll?
It's just me.
Where are your parents?
Tokyo.
Oh yes, viewers, these two grown adults are willing to forgive this kid for stabbing their faces with blades, shooting pool balls into their skulls, breaking teeth out of their mouth, and nearly stabbing them to death with falling icicles. All because his mommy was missing, so this poor boy didn't know any better. It's a badly handled twist that garners none of the sympathy we got with Old Man Marley or Pigeon Lady in Home Alone 1 and 2. And any attempt at a heartwarming mood is quickly undone after Jeff and Pam discover that it was his brother's baby that actually took this doll. Cue the tired slapstick that isn't any funnier when you shoot it in slow motion.
That was incredible!
Who would have thought Ollie was gonna save the day, right? Good job, buddy.
Good job, my love.
And this was where the Home Alone franchise finally died, after 20-some years of barely living in the first place. What excuse does this kid have for making that face, other than reminding us what film this is a sequel to? Well, at least it's finally over. Mom and Max are back together in time for Christmas, the Mackenzie family is rich off this doll, and Mom is gonna beat Max silly for making ruin of their household. So let's roll the credits and oh, fuck you with the 1 year later. This shit isn't Avengers Endgame.
To new friends.
And me having no permanent neurological damage.
I do not care if the Mackenzies got to keep their house and additionally repaired the Mercer's house, or if Andrew Daly finally showed up the set for the last day of shooting, or anything about these sad, awful people. Although I am interested to know why John Hughes is credited as a co-writer on this movie's story when the guy has been quite dead for the past 12 years. Oh, I'm sure that John Hughes' ghost came back from the dead and blessed the Disney Corporation to make a true sequel to his original beloved classics. And then immediately screamed out, "Disney, you spent $18 million on another Home Alone reboot?" To be fair, the guys behind this movie are far from untalented. Co-writer Mikey Day is a great writer and performer on SNL, and director Dan Mazer is a 2-time Oscar nominee for co-writing both the Borat movies. But to quote Home Alone director Chris Columbus on his thoughts towards Disney's latest sequel, what's the point? The movie exists. Let's just live with the movie that existed. I say we follow his advice and live with the originals like we do every Christmas, and ignore Disney's unfunny and poorly made attempt at wringing just a few more bucks out of this once great property. If there are 2 nice things that I can say about Home Sweet Home Alone, it's that it never resorted to using the Motley Crue song, and that it's at least 0.07% better than Home Alone 4 was.
Snowfall. I knew this was gonna be the best Christmas ever. Woof.
On the enjoyableness continuum scale from Bull to Bruce, Home Sweet Home Alone gives me no hope for Disney Plus's upcoming reboot of The Good Son, and leaves Rob Schneider with a tip of 2 out of 10. If you thought that Disney was gonna be the one to save the name of Home Alone,
I'm terribly sorry, sir, but I'm afraid you're mistaken.
I'm Jesse Shade for JoBlo.com, and I wish a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you watching our shows. If you like what you see, please subscribe to the JoBlo Originals channel. Tell all your friends who like this sort of content, and turn on the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest videos. We are an independent company that appreciates all of your support. And stay tuned for my top 10 worst movies of 2021 list at the end of the year, where I will once again have to talk about Home Sweet Home Alone.
Somebody that lives here, what's the code?
Yo, Mama!
Thank you, Ricky!